This video contains spoilers. Watch the fucking show.
I don't know what comes after that.
Okay, so if you guys watched my last video on this anime, The Eminence in Shadow, I feel like I didn't go into those first 5 episodes of the show with the right mindset. Because I'll be honest, the entire reason I even watched it in the first place was just because a lot of my viewers were telling me, hey, this show kind of has Overlord vibes, like you should do a comparison to Overlord. And so I went into those first 5 episodes not really judging the anime on its own merits. I was more of just like doing a side-by-side comparison of this anime with Overlord. And I think that might have affected like how I viewed it and how I was judging it and enjoying it, because I was just constantly comparing it to Overlord the entire time I was watching it. And that is fun, and I still did that a little bit while I was watching the show. But when I decided to continue watching the show, and I kind of turned that part of my brain off, and I gotta admit, it's really difficult for me to put my feelings of this anime into words, because I just have so many conflicting emotions when I'm watching this show. So yeah, I watched the first 5 episodes of The Eminence in Shadow, you know, back when it first was airing weekly and everything like that. And I did a video on those first 5 episodes, and then I went on a break for pretty much the rest of the runtime of The Eminence in Shadow. And during my break from YouTube, I wasn't actually really watching like any anime at all, so I didn't watch any of The Eminence in Shadow anymore after those first 5 episodes. This week was the last episode, so I decided to just binge watch the rest of the season. And I have to admit, I do really enjoy the show. So I think something about this anime that was missed on me the first time I watched it is just how self-aware it is. And that's like what the main gag of the show is. It's almost like the author has explained in the plot of the anime why everyone is so edgy. And another thing I think that affected my viewing of the anime the first time is that really what this story can be is kind of divided into 2 different plot lines. You can have it from Sid's perspective, the main character, and then you can have it from the perspective of pretty much everyone else in the story. Because my first time watching it, I was just totally focusing on Sid's perspective, you know, comparing him to Ainz and all that stuff. And it didn't really dawn on me that it really is these 2 separate viewings of it until the second arc, episode like 9-ish. Like everything with the dad and like what's going on in the school and how serious these events are that's actually taking place. And then like Sid is, you know, it's just the game to him, so it doesn't feel serious from his perspective, but it truly is a very super serious and dark moment. I think that juxtaposition makes the show like pretty interesting in my opinion. I like seeing the fact that it goes meta with it like that, because it feels like when I'm watching the show that the show knows it's stupid, that the main character and everything about it is just kind of ridiculous, but the show like leans into that. Like it just realizes that this entire situation with the main character is absolutely ridiculous, but it plays on that, and it doesn't like take itself too seriously. And it's weird because like in the arc with the trial and the sanctuary stuff, like I can tell there is a lot of like really good lore in this world. Like there is like an actual story to this show, but you know, because it's Sid, you know, he's just not really like taking it in stride. He's not really like, you know, believing it's a real story. It's just the game to him, but to everyone else it's this really big lore. And I think it's just kind of meta how everyone else in the story is involved in this massive conspiracy except for the main character. And when I'm watching the anime, I love that juxtaposition between the perspectives, because we have these moments in the anime where like Shadow comes down and he makes this big grandiose entrance and it's super badass and everything like that, and everyone's just like, oh, Shadow, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. And then like in Sid's mind it's just like, yes, I nailed that entrance. And like, you know, it's stuff like that. I mean, the man literally carried a piano down into like a dungeon area just so he could have like this cool moment of him playing the piano in front of Rose. The show is just so ridiculous, and it knows it's ridiculous, and I think that's what makes it so brilliant and fun. And so really what I think it is about The Eminence in Shadow is just that it's a purely enjoyable anime at this point to me, because it is so outlandish and so ridiculous and so chuny and all that stuff, but it's also somehow really, really cool at the same time when being so self-aware. Like, I'll be honest, I love the atomic moments. I think the atomic moments are super cool. Like, they're really cringy, but they're also really cool at the same time. Like, I just can't decide.
I am atomic.
because so many things happen and I'm just like, that is so dumb, and then like something else happens and I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. It's just a fun show, and I think that was really what affected my viewpoint of it the first time I watched it, and why I wasn't so crazy about it the first time. And I haven't really dug into the source material too much of the Eminence in Shadow, but I know there is like things you can explore like deeply in this show. Kind of feel like that would almost take away a little bit from the fun of it, as opposed to Overlord, because Overlord is just so focused on world building. This show isn't really. I mean, there are aspects of that, of course. It doesn't have that super big emphasis like Overlord, but the Eminence in Shadow is just a completely different show, and so I don't really think it's fair to do that comparison between the two of them. You know, the Eminence in Shadow is just so outlandish and, you know, crazy compared to Overlord, in my opinion. And I also can't sleep on the cinematography of some of these scenes. Like one that really comes to mind is the scene where Rose is recruited into Shadow Garden, and also the fight animation is absolutely amazing. Like Iris and Beatrix versus Shadow in episode 20, like the fight choreography is fantastic. The sound design is great too. It's funny that such a ridiculous story and plot is wrapped in this container of fantastic production value, and I think that just amplifies, you know, the whole meta aspect of this anime. Also, the pacing of it felt really good. I've been told that this 20 episodes only covered 2 volumes, which is a pretty good pace, and honestly, I'm a little jealous that the Eminence in Shadow is getting that treatment instead of Overlord. Like, oh man, if 10 episodes for volume 14 would have been awesome. I'm a little salty about that. I will admit that the Eminence in Shadow gets this, you know, really good treatment right now in terms of pacing, and also just the quality of the production itself is very high. So basically, guys, I really enjoyed this anime, but I enjoyed it in a different way than I enjoy Overlord. So I have like this new viewpoint on the Eminence in Shadow, really. It's just an enjoyable anime. It's a fun watch. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and you shouldn't take it too seriously either watching it. You should just kind of take in the ridiculousness of it and have a good time watching it, and that's exactly what I did, you know, with this binge watch of the last 15 episodes, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time watching every single episode. It has been announced recently that there will be a season 2 of the Eminence in Shadow, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do videos on it. I'd probably do the videos differently than I did my Overlord videos, because I haven't really dug into the source material at all for the Eminence of Shadow, but I might, because I know the anime is based off the light novel, and I know the manga is a little bit different, so I might read the manga just to see if I can get like the different story or whatever. I don't know if it's a different story, or if it's just like things about it, but I need to learn more about the different versions of this story. But that's basically my new perspective on the Eminence in Shadow. It's a really fun show that you shouldn't take too seriously and just enjoy. And honestly, I love anime like that, and I really wish I had access to more anime like that. So pretty quick video on my end, guys, but what did you think of the Eminence in Shadow? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to hear feedback, own opinions from you guys, because I know a lot of people think differently about this show, so I would love to hear some different perspectives other than my own. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. And if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out more than you know, and it'll let you know when I post in the future. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching to the very end of the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.